So when we get on the road, there's the big difference between the Dzire and the Amaze. They've changed the suspension tune and all for this as well because the car's also heavier. The platform is largely the same, but it has more high tensile steel
Of course
to
it
make
does.
it safer.
Right.
Weight has gone up by 30 kilos. I told you all the playbooks are there. The interesting thing in this is that they have done the internal crash tests and their design for the car is not as per global NCAP.
Okay.
It's as per Euro NCAP. So the
Okay.
side pole impact test, they are saying we are designing the car for a 32-kilometer crash test, not a 29. And therefore, they have done all these things of strengthening, even though the doors, you're sitting slightly closer, they've strengthened all of that. They have more structural parts now added on so that the load force that comes in is transmitted better, it's stronger. All of that is there. So, which is why the weight has also gone up.
Got it. Just to make sure you understand this, the global NCAP test is a much less well-specified test compared to the Euro NCAP test, which is a very, very comprehensive test. In there is a side impact test which uses a pole. Pole is a very dangerous object, and therefore the speeds at which you test are super low because otherwise you're going to have to build a tank to meet that test. So 29 is some person's number, Euro NCAP's number is 32. And that's basically the discussion about crash test ratings. If you'd like to explore the idea of crash test ratings more, on the MotorInc app, you'll find the 2 seasons of Disconnect. Season 2, early second, third episode, we discussed how to interpret crash test ratings in full detail, what is important to learn, what is important to ignore, and what not to take for granted. All of those 3 topics are in there. Easiest place to see it is the app. Sorry.
Done. So because of that, obviously they've retuned the suspension and stuff like that. And that's the big difference between this Amaze and the Dzire. Because like we said, the Dzire suspension was just fantastic.
Right.
Right. This is good. The good part about the Amaze suspension setup now is that earlier it had a tendency to feel like the suspension could max out a bit. You would hear that. Now in this, bad roads and like hard hits, never did it go cut.
Okay.
It's on the softer side. That's there.
Compared to the Dzire.
Dzire has fantastic control, front and rear, always. The good thing with the Amaze is front and rear, it's balanced, but like when you typically get off a speed breaker, and I had a situation where we were 3 adults in the car and getting over the
3 adults at a car launch? What's the world coming to?
So I had some people with me because I wanted to spend time in the back. So somebody was with me that time. So we were 3 adults in the car and going over speed breaker. You could feel it coming off, done softly, all of that. But then it does that flop, you know. It's not just the rear, which can get annoying. This is the whole car does that. But still, that is additional control that the car could have had. And we have a higher benchmark from the Dzire on this front.
Understood.
Is this an issue? I spent time in the back seat. No, it wasn't. In the front, again, it wasn't. But you just feel that it can be flatter, smoother, and more polished.
So very good, but room for improvement.
Yes.
That is a clip from MotorInc. And what that means is if you'd like to see more of these, you can do 2 things. One is stay on this channel, subscribe and watch more, or you can come to the main MotorInc channel where you'll find a much longer video that discusses this idea in a lot more detail.